What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about how to make your Apple earbuds not sound trash, because they are pretty bad. And so whether you're recording voice memos or whether you're recording GarageBand, it's really good to use headphones, because the mics that come on them are much better than just recording out of the external mic on your phone or your iPad, and then you can hear a lot more bass, you can use a monitor, and there's a lot more things that you can do. And if you don't have headphones, you should have the earbuds that come with your iPhone. If not, they're a pretty cheap option if you want to get them. So today we're going to be talking about how to make that sound better. Alright, so let's get straight into this. So the first part that we're going to be talking about is how to do like a podcast, or like if you want to do narration or talking or anything like that, or starting a radio show. Anything that just requires talking. So what we're going to do, you're going to go to your vocals, and then you're going to go to narrator. So I'm going to put the monitor on for this, and now so I can hear myself how this is actually sounding. So before we actually get into like configuring like the all the controls and everything like that, let's talk about how to optimally hold the microphone. So the first thing that you're going to do is you want to make sure that it's not too close to your mouth, because otherwise you're going to get a lot of like external noise, and it's going to gross sounds, and then it's also going to go above the input level, which is going to make it sound even worse quality. So what you want to do, you want to hold it like not too far back, so you don't want it to be like that, but a good distance is probably about a few inches away from your face. And you don't have to be right in front of it. It can be almost off to the side. And second of all, you don't want to be moving around. So if you're moving around like this and you're trying to record, it's not going to sound good. So you want to try to keep it as still as possible, but it's okay. You don't focus on like not moving a muscle. That's fine. That is, you can move a little bit, just don't move it a lot. Now, when you're holding it, if you see the front part with the plus and the minus button, it has that kind of like almost like groove flat part in the middle. If you put your thumb over that, and then your index finger on the back side, and you want to be facing the plus and the minus side. So you want to be talking into that side. And then you can wrap your fingers around the other parts of it on the back, so that you can kind of muffle out external sound that you don't need. Alright, so let's get into configuring the sounds. So the first thing that you're going to do, we're going to go to our visual EQ. So this is the biggest change with this, at least. So we're going to raise our to about like 20 hertz probably, and 200 mark probably, and we're gonna raise the treble about not too much. You don't want super harsh, anything like that. But if you put this up a little bit, it's gonna be good. And then we don't want any of that like crunchy telephone noise like that. We want it to be nice and crisp. So we're gonna move this down like that. So there you go. You can play around with this however you want, but this is a rough outline of the EQ. So this already sounds a lot better, but the other thing, we still have to compress it. So you don't want it to be the threshold to be too far. Otherwise it's going to sound like this, and it's going to be really bad. So you want it to be probably around like 20-ish, low 20s. And then but you want to put the ratio pretty high, and the attack not too high, because that's going to provide delay in the compression. And the gain is really up to you. You don't want it to be like that, because it's going to sound like ear rape, but you can put it down. Yeah, you don't want it to like affect the sound or anything. Oh yeah, by the way, if you don't want that like overdrive sound, also you can use your input level to match the sound level that you're talking about. So there we go. There it is. So the other thing, we're going to use the dials on the narrator sound like thingy, and we're gonna go to tone, and it's really up to you how you want this, but you can put it up like on the more thinner tone or like a fatter tone. I usually go for a more fatter tone, and with the presence, I usually put it more on the tinier side for that. Not too much though, not like that. This sounds awful. And then the other thing is the resonance. You can either do that or that, and I really like the resonance on this side. I think it gives a pretty good sound. So when you do all that, and then you talk into the mic in a good way, and you're not redlining it, it should sound pretty good, like this. And then if you want, you can add a slight touch, adding a slight echo and reverb, which you can barely hear, but it has a slight touch, and if you want more, you can put that as well. So here you go. I'm talking into it right now. You're listening to it. This is the narrator, or podcast, or anything that you want with that. And we're going to name this podcast, and if you don't know how to save it, just follow these directions, just like what I'm doing, and then it's in your custom. Okay, so let's go on to if you're like doing a song, or like if you're doing vocals, like singing. So this is a lot more up to personal preference, and there's a lot of difference if you're using like auto-tune and things like that. So we're just going to do a no auto-tune, just bass sound. So if you go to vocals, and you can go to extreme stereo, or you can go to producer effects, and go to stereo spread. I'm going to go stereo spread, and if you see, this is the offset, which means, and it's not the rapper from Migos, even though that dude's lit. We're going to go, it's going to take the sound and put it, like, I guess separate them more and put them one ear in the other ear, and if you put them all the way back, it's going to be like, it's not going to be as much offset. So I like to put this a little bit, because it gives a good wider sound. So now let's go straight into our EQ. So the EQ for this is going to be pretty similar to what we did before, but not as much bass. So it's probably going to be a little bit of bass. We're going to we don't want that, like, yeah, there we go. We can put that probably there. That mids is really up to you. And then you want to filter out those, like, super highs. But I think, yeah, maybe more on this side. And then I guess if you want to raise the treble, you can, but that's up to you. I might actually raise it for a little bit. That actually sounds okay. But it's really up to you for this part. And for the compressor, we don't want too much ratio. The attack can be a little bit more delayed. We can put the mix down a little bit, keep the gain pretty low. Next thing, the stereo delay. If you could hear a very, very subtle echo or delay, you can put that down if you don't want it. But now we're going to go into a reverb. So we're going to put the master effects, and it's right now at large hall. We can put medium hall. And then once at medium hall, you can really play with it how you want it to be in that song. I'm just going to put it not super high, and this is a good spot for now. The other thing is your echo. When you want that, you can go to master effects, you're going to go to echo. I would say dark quarter note echo, triplet echo, quarter note echo, dance echo. They're all things that you can do. So, I'll keep it a dark quarter note echo, So now, lastly is your tone. So you're going to put your tone probably about, it's really up to you, but I like to put it a little bit more on the thinner side of things, just to kind of balance out how we have more of a bass-heavy EQ. But it's really up to you, and if you want it like that, or if you want to put more treble, and then you can have a little bit, you can play around with the tone a little bit, and if you want more bass, you can do that as well. But there you go. This is your singing presets, and we have our let's save this. Let's name this Sing 1, and then we're gonna go into our custom, and it's here. So this is our Sing. And then this is our podcast. So this is the podcast that we just created. And this is our singing that we just created. And I know this sounds very trebly, actually. If you want, you can turn that down a little bit. But for a default, it's better to have a little bit of higher ends when you're singing so you can hear that more crispier vocals. So, thanks for watching, guys. Keep on watching new videos. Keep on giving me suggestions. It's a pretty busy time of year right now, and I'm just getting over the flu, so I'm probably not going to be posting as much, but still keep the suggestions coming. Keep the likes coming. Keep on showing me some love. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.